It is Hispanic Heritage Month, and right now a massive project is underway right here in D.C. Organizers are working to build the country's first ever national museum dedicated to the Latino experience within the Smithsonian institution. Isabel Rosales has more on what this means for the Latino community here in D.C. and across the country.
Music, movies,
we don't talk about Bruno,
and food. Latino culture has been intertwined with the United States from the very start.
It's so incredibly important for people to understand, for example, that we've been here before there was a United States of America for over 500 years, that we're indigenous and immigrant.
Now, for the first time, the Smithsonian is working toward a national museum dedicated to American Latino contributions to U.S. art, history, culture, and science.
The Latino experience is American history, and I want to make sure our history and our stories will be preserved for future generations.
Madonna,
Mark
Anthony, Thalia.
Emilio Estefan is on the board of trustees for the museum. The music producer shot to fame, working alongside his wife, Gloria.
Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
I mean, when I went to the label, they told me this music will never work. No more things.
More than 40 years and 19 Grammys later, Emilio says taking part in the museum is all about paying back his good fortune.
What it represents to me is a tribute to the American dream.
The project is years in the making.
It's taken quite a bit. It has to go through legislation, pass in Congress, and it requires an effort. It requires that struggle for people to step up and ask for this museum to be built.
Finally, in December 2020, Congress did just that, passing legislation calling for the Smithsonian to establish the National Museum of the American Latino. A preview gallery for the museum is open now at the National Museum of American History in Washington, D.C. Its first exhibition, Presente, a Latino history of the United States, features art, interactive displays, and artifacts.
When you see a Cuban raft with two people that are riding this tiny little boat the size of a canoe, that shows you the struggle and the power of an object to share that story.
Curators hope the museum's appeal will spread beyond Latino communities.
They'll come in and see stories on immigration, on resiliency, on the struggles, and they'll draw parallels and they'll see that they share a lot in common with Latinos, and that's really important.
While reflecting the diverse experiences within.
Doesn't matter if you come from Mexico, from Argentina, from Cuba, maybe from Venezuela, from Puerto Rico. I think this brings unity. It brings pride. I think it's important that we feel proud. I'm very proud, that I was born in Cuba, but I'm very proud that I'm an American citizen.
The next big step is to break ground on the museum. Altogether, it'll take at least 10 years for it to be up and running. And that'll happen right here at the National Mall or near it, home to so many other Smithsonian museums. For the people organizing this historic undertaking, it will be worth the wait.
I think that's what is so important, to keep this alive for so many generations to come, about the beginning of a beautiful story.
I'm Isabel Rosales, reporting.